Good morning, everyone. I'm Eileen Kugler. I'm a member of Adarim, and welcome to our meditation Minyan. Right now, if we had a clear sky and we looked up, we would see a sliver of a moon. And that means it's time to celebrate the new month. It's time to celebrate Rosh Chodesh. And this month that we're beginning is Shvat. Rosh Chodesh has long been thought of as a holiday for women. And some say it's because the Hebrew women did not give up their gold jewelry for the golden calf. And they were rewarded with a monthly day off from work. They could abstain from all labor. And whenever I read this, I often think about how humorous it is that a woman would actually not do any form of work for an entire 24-hour period. But it's a nice thought. Others say that this holiday is associated with women because the waxing and waning of the moon is like a woman's menstrual cycle. Whatever the reason, it has become a time when a lot of women stop and take stock of things and celebrate themselves and others. Shvat is associated with spring because in Israel, during this month, the first trees start to bud. It may be a little early this year, but it is a sign of spring in Israel. The 15th of Shvat, or Tu B'Shvat, is the day that marks the beginning of this new year for trees. I was taught as a child this is the birthday of trees. In Shvat, Jews take special care to fulfill our duties to protect and preserve the earth. And it's our Earth Day. It's a bit harder to make that kind of a connection to spring here in the United States. As a matter of fact, today, as we begin this month, many parts of the US have major snowstorms. We here in Northern Virginia have a cold rain, and it's pretty dreary out there. But this does coincide with another type of rebirth. It is early in the year 2024, our secular new year. It's also a good time to think about our own personal rebirth, our own budding, if you will, the budding of our hopes and our aspirations for the coming year. I've been listening to a podcast by Mel Robbins, who is a best-selling author, who talks about ways to live the life you'd really like to live. And she has a particular ritual for this time of year. She says we can't just say what we want the next year to be without taking stock of the past year, without looking at our past year, and not necessarily in a negative way, but just really thinking about all the things that have happened during the year. So she suggests that we think about the past year. She even says, go through the photos on your phone, look at your calendar, think about all the things that happened this year. What are the highlights of the year? What are the challenges of this past year? And what did you learn about yourself during the past year? She then says, think about what is it you really want to continue doing? What do you want to stop doing? What are new things you might want to do? Clearly, that entire ritual is more than we can handle in one meditation. It's something that could take quite a while, but I'm going to suggest that we think about one piece of that this morning as we begin Shvat, as we are early in our year of 2024, and that is, what have we learned about ourselves this year? If you think back on the year, what did you learn about yourself? Did you find you liked something new that you really didn't expect to? Did you find you have a talent that you didn't even know you had? Did you realize that something you've been doing just doesn't serve you well anymore? Were the things that you learned about yourself, when you think about them now, was it welcome? Do you want to cultivate it like you would cultivate a tree that's starting to bud? Do you want to fertilize it? Do you want to water it? Or do you want to say, nope, I need to dig that one up and I need some new growth there? But the most important thing is to just reflect on what it is you learned about yourself this year. We don't often give ourselves that luxury of thinking about our own needs, our own selves, as we enter a time of new growth. So I'm going to ask everyone to get comfortable in your chairs, plant your feet on the ground, connect with that earth that we've been talking about for Shvat, connect with the earth and all its bounty. Let's take 2 deep breaths together. Ah. And let's think about what we've learned about ourselves this year. What is something that you hadn't really thought about before that you learned about yourself in 2023? As we begin Shvat, a month of rebirth and new growth, what have you learned about yourself? And we'll meditate quietly on this for about 10 minutes. Enjoy the time. Okay, friends, start coming back into the room. Take a breath. Maybe wiggle your toes and your hands a little bit. All right, we'll appreciate all those who joined us today. Hope that meditation you found meaningful. Let us know if you'd like to ever join us on our Zoom call and participate in the discussions. We meet at 10 o'clock on Tuesday mornings on Zoom. Thank you for joining us.